Welcome back to the Center for Off-Road Research and Anagon Science. This is the scene where we're coming to you from right now, and just to show you that this does have a fully functional suspension. It will have four-wheel drive once I connect both axles, and you can see that there's no compromise here. This is a 4-link front and back, and I was trying to figure out how to mount this servo and how to deal with the fact that this servo mount for the SpeedCX24 has these ridges and the structure to bolt to a SpeedCX24 axle. Well, I figured out a way to make that smooth. Now you might wonder why I need to make it smooth. It's because the top of the Enduro 24 axle is smooth, and I'm basically going to mount this with tape. I'll need to raise it up off the axle a little bit just to get the proper amount of clearance. But by removing the entire mount, it's a flat surface. And I think I have one of these AS1 servos already that doesn't even have the ears on it. And if I don't, I'm just going to cut the ears off this because it'll fit between the frame rails much easier, and it will have no interference. So just getting rid of a piece I don't need is probably the best way to flatten this out. So I do need to make a stack of something in there just to get it up to the proper height, otherwise the servo horn sits below the steering linkage and that's not going to work okay. So I'll just figure out an easy way to stack this up, get it up high, and then use some 3M tape or something like that to stick it all down. It's a low torque application and shouldn't need a whole lot of things bolting it down. If I need to, I can always figure something else out. Worst case scenario, I just glue it on there, but I don't really want to do that. This is my big bin of parts, and I've got basically enough things in here to build or modify anything I own. And one of the things that it comes with is dividers for the drawers. These are the dividers that come with that well, I don't know, storage box, I guess. And they are stackable, they're flat, and I can stack these up. I'll cut them to the same size as the servo, so I won't actually need that much of it. I might even be able to cut one of these and cut multiple pieces out, and I'll glue these together with super glue to make the pile that I need, and then I'll 3M tape it on and 3M tape the bottom onto the axle. So I'll get the lift that I need in order for that servo horn to clear and connect to my steering link. Should be easy enough. Alright, so I took one of these pieces here, cut it up with a hacksaw, and then stacked it, and that's roughly the size of my servo. So what I'm going to do is just tape that right onto the bottom, and then I'll tape this stack onto the axle, and boom, servo and axle mount. Before I do that though, I'm probably going to color this black because I've already got Sharpie on my hands, and why would I not color it black? I went ahead and mounted the AS1 servo, and it's not pretty, but you know what, it has two servo savers now. It has the one that comes from the factory and the one that is from the foam tape that I used to mount it. Now it looks like it's not solid, but it is. The servo does move a little bit, but as you can see, I have full steering authority on that, and I'll figure out a way to mount that a little more sturdy. Worst case scenario, like I said, I could just glue it down, but I really don't want to do that. But I'll just test it for a while, and as long as I have the steering I need, why would I worry about changing it? If anything, it'll help save the servo because it'll never really overload it. And that tape that I'm using isn't the normal tape. It's got a little bit of foam to it, So what you're seeing is it twisting that foam a little bit. It's not letting go, it just twists the foam. It's doing it clear down on the motor, on the axle mount, because there's not a lot of surface area in order to grab onto there. That might be a place where I would actually glue it to the axle, because I want to be able to change the servo, and if I leave the tape on the top but actually glue it to the axle, it would just become part of the axle and would never need to be moved. So I might do that if this ever breaks, but I'm happy with how it is. When the top's down, I don't think you can tell that that servo is moving at all. And if it never breaks, why would I change it?